You know, I've been locked in this room since I started my YouTube journey. I'm not sure there's any way out, to be honest. Maybe I should use my brain a little bit and try and escape. Ah, so many movies. I think I'll stay. What is up, everyone? We're back again with another review, and it's going to be for the 2021 film Escape Room Tournament of Champions, and it's directed by Adam Robitel and stars Taylor Russell and Logan Miller. Now, this tells the story of our escapees from the first movie and how they find themselves in another game with 4 others, who then reveal they have all escaped before, and now we have ourselves the Tournament of Champions. Now, that's the first movie this week in preparation for this one for the first time, and I really got some enjoyment out of it, actually. I love the concept. It's kind of like a Saw movie, but in a different way, and using escape rooms that are deadly is a really good idea, I think. And even though that first film had a bit of a bad ending, I was still all up for this one. I knew this wasn't going to be a film that was going to be a masterpiece or anything like that, but once our characters are thrust into the escape room, the movie definitely does start to kick into gear. And I really like the design of some of the rooms in the first movie, especially that room that was designed like an oven. And here, it's no exception. There is a bank with heat lasers going around it, and you've got to get from one end to the other, and it seemed pretty impossible. It kind of reminded me of the Resident Evil 1 film, if you can remember that. And another room literally rains acid, and I just felt really bad for the characters. I don't think there's a worse death than that, is there? And I just knew someone was going to get locked in there. It was really hard to watch at times, but I definitely feel these escape room films are at their best when they're just doing this instead of the whole storytelling in the background, because that's what we come to watch anyway. These movies are really tense too, and I do think Adam Robitel nails that down to a T. He is really good at making you just sort of tighten up in your seat a little bit there, because the timer is always ticking, and you know that these characters face a grim end. It's a harsh reality that they find themselves in this movie, and one of them usually always has to stay behind as well. And you just know that something's coming for one of them. No one really deserves acid rain, do they? Let's be honest. I mean, that's just cruel. And even though you do feel really bad on these characters, they are all pretty bland here. And I can give that a little bit of a pass, because they are here for one thing only, really, and that's to die in these escape rooms. Like I said, one of them is always left behind. But I did really latch on to Logan Miller's character in this one. He was my least favourite in the first movie. I just thought he was a total arsehole. But it's like the events of that film has changed him as a person a little bit, because he's a really good friend to Zoe, the main protagonist here. And he always puts her first. He'll put himself in harm's way to protect her. And I can get on board with that. I must say, these characters are way too brainy, though. I mean, some of the clues that they're given here are just impossible to work out in the time they work them out in. I mean, they will get a clue and work it out in like 5 seconds, and I'm like, how did they even think that that was the answer? And while I'm still trying to process that, they'll be on to the next clue and trying to work that out, and I'm just thinking, this looks like a rehearsal. It's like they've done this before and they know step by step what to do to get out the room. Now, I know everyone is left behind at one time. I mean, there's always a character who's left behind in these movies, but I would find it really hard to believe that they got through all 5 rooms, because someone does make it to the end, of course, and it's like the maker of these games is banking on someone to make it to the end, but in reality, I don't think they'd even all survive the first room. Like I said, they just seem virtually impossible to get out of. I've been in escape rooms before, and none of them are as hard as the ones in this film, but these characters just seem to know what to do next. Just took a little bit of believability out the film for me. It's also a very, very far-fetched way to set the movie up. These 6 characters, who have all played the game before, end up in the same train car in New York City at the same time. A couple of them aren't even from New York, but the games master has got them all in this train car at one time. And I don't care who you are, that's virtually impossible to set up. It just seemed too coincidental. This was a really entertaining time though. I had a lot of fun during this 1 hour and 30-minute runtime. It's a very easy watch, and you can tell Adam Robitel has returned to direct this because it's very familiar to the first movie. It's almost alike. The only difference I could probably see there is that he got the ending wrong in that first film, but here he gets it a lot better. However, the setup at the start, like I just mentioned, was all wrong, so he kind of flipped the card a little bit there. But like I said, he does try a little bit more with the story here, but I was just more bothered about all the escape rooms, and that was the funnest part of the film, when they're getting out of these escape rooms and how well designed they are. I enjoyed it. I thought this was a decent movie. I'm just going to go ahead and rate this movie now. I'm going to give Escape Room Tournament of Champions a 6.5 out of 10. If you like the first film, I feel like there's definitely something for you here. So at the end of these reviews, I always like to leave a little fun fact. Now, a fun fact for Escape Room Tournament of Champions is that the first film made $150 million off a $9 million budget. So of course they were going to make a sequel. I don't blame them. Okay guys, I hope you all enjoyed this review. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Got a lot more reviews coming, lots more videos. And if you want us to comment about Escape Room or Escape Room Tournament of Champions, leave it down below and I'll reply to every single one of you, I promise. Take it all easy guys. I'll see you all next video.